there was a magical flute that had been passed down through generations. This flute had the power to bring joy and happiness to everyone who heard its enchanting melodies. But over time, the flute had been forgotten, its magic lying dormant, waiting for the right person to awaken it once more. The discovery. In this village lived a young girl named Binzu. She was curious and adventurous, always seeking out new wonders in the world around her. One sunny afternoon, as she wandered through the forest near her home, Binzu stumbled upon an old, abandoned cottage. Its walls were covered in ivy, and the roof was partially collapsed, but something about the place intrigued her. Binzu pushed open the creaky door and stepped inside. The air was musty, and dust motes danced in the beams of sunlight streaming through the broken windows. As she explored the cottage, she noticed a small, ornate box on a shelf. It was intricately carved with images of animals and flowers. The first melody, Binzu couldn't resist the urge to play the flute. She raised it to her lips and blew gently. To her amazement, the flute produced a soft, melodious sound that seemed to resonate with the very soul of the forest. As she played, the air around her shimmered with a magical light, and she felt an overwhelming sense of happiness and peace. Unbeknownst to Binzu, the forest animals had been drawn to the sound of the flute. Birds perched on branches, squirrels paused in their scurrying, and even a family of deer stopped to listen. But it was the rabbits who were the most enchanted. They emerged from their burrows and began to dance in a circle around Binzu, their movements graceful and synchronized. The village festival. News of Binzu's magical flute playing quickly spread throughout the village. The villagers were eager to see the dancing bunnies and hear the enchanting melodies for themselves. They decided to organize a festival in Binzu's honor, inviting everyone to come and witness the magic. On the day of the festival, the village square was filled with excitement. Colorful banners fluttered in the breeze, and the air was filled with the mouth-watering scent of delicious treats. Binzu stood in the center of the square, her flute in hand, feeling a mix of nervousness and excitement. The festival was a resounding success, and Binzu's flute playing became the talk of the village. People came from far and wide to see the dancing bunnies and hear the magical music. Binzu was overjoyed to bring so much happiness to others, but she couldn't help but wonder about the origins of the flute and its mysterious powers. The Enchanted Grove. One evening, as the sun was setting and the sky was painted with hues of orange and pink, Binzu decided to explore the forest once more. She followed a path she had never taken before, guided by an inexplicable feeling that she was meant to find something important. Binzu felt a strange sense of recognition as she approached the tree. She reached out and touched its bark, feeling a warm, tingling sensation. Suddenly, a soft voice echoed in her mind. "Welcome, Binzu," the voice said. "I am the guardian of the grove. You have found the magic flute, and with it, you have awakened the joy and happiness that has long been dormant in this land." Binzu looked around, trying to find the source of the voice, but there was no one else in the grove. "Who are you?" she asked, her voice trembling with awe. "I am the spirit of the forest," the voice replied. Long ago, the magic flute was created by the first guardian of this grove. It was meant to bring joy and harmony to the world. But as time passed, the flute was forgotten, and its magic faded. You, Binzu, have the gift to awaken its power and spread happiness once more. The forest's gift. Binzu felt a deep sense of purpose as she listened to the spirit's words. "What must I do?" she asked, her heart filled with determination. "You must play the flute in the heart of the forest," the spirit said. "There, the magic will be at its strongest, and you will awaken the true power of the flute. But be careful, for there are those who would seek to use its magic for their own selfish desires." Binzu nodded, understanding the gravity of her task. She thanked the spirit and made her way back to the village, her mind filled with thoughts of the journey ahead. The next morning, Binzu set out for the heart of the forest. She carried the flute with her, feeling its comforting presence in her hands. The path was long and winding, but she was determined to fulfill her destiny. As she walked, she encountered various creatures of the forest, all of whom seemed to sense the magic within her. Birds sang sweet melodies, guiding her way, and squirrels chatted excitedly as she passed by. Even the deer seemed to bow their heads in respect. The heart of the forest. After a long and arduous journey, Binzu finally reached the heart of the forest. It was a serene and beautiful place, with a crystal-clear pond surrounded by lush greenery and vibrant flowers. In the center of the pond was a small island, and on that island stood a stone pedestal. Binzu knew instinctively that this was where she needed to play the flute. She carefully made her way to the island and stood before the pedestal. Taking a deep breath, she raised the flute to her lips and began to play. The music that flowed from the flute was unlike anything she had ever played before. It was as if the very essence of the forest was pouring through her, filling the air with a melody that was both powerful and gentle. The water of the pond shimmered with a magical light, and the trees seemed to sway in time with the music. The dance of the bunnies. Suddenly, a chorus of joyous sounds filled the air. Binzu turned to see the bunnies emerging from the forest, their eyes sparkling with excitement. They gathered around the island, their ears twitching and their paws tapping in anticipation. Binzu continued to play, and the bunnies began to dance. It was a dance unlike any other, full of grace and exuberance. The bunnies twirled and leaped, their movements perfectly synchronized with the music. The forest seemed to come alive with their joy, and even the flowers seemed to bloom more brightly. As the dance continued, other forest creatures joined in. Birds fluttered overhead, their wings creating a gentle breeze. Squirrels scampered up and down the trees, their tails flicking in time with the music. Deer pranced gracefully around the pond, their hooves barely touching the ground. Binzu felt a deep sense of fulfillment as she watched the harmony she had created. The magic of the flute had brought the forest together in a celebration of life and joy. She knew that this moment would be remembered for generations to come. The return. With the flute's magic fully awakened, Binzu knew it was time to return to the village. She bid farewell to the spirit of the forest, who blessed her with a radiant smile. "Remember, Binzu," the spirit said, "the magic of the flute is within you. Use it wisely and continue to spread joy wherever you go." Binzu nodded, feeling a profound connection to the forest and its magic. She made her way back to the village, her heart light and her spirit soaring. When she arrived, the villagers greeted her with open arms. They had been worried about her, but their concern turned to joy when they saw the radiant smile on her face. Binzu told them of her journey and the magic of the flute, and they listened with awe and admiration. A new beginning. Binzu's return marked the beginning of a new chapter for the village. The magic of the flute became a cherished part of their lives, and Binzu continued to play for them, bringing joy and harmony to all. The village flourished, and the bond between the people and the forest grew stronger than ever. The Dancing Bunnies became a symbol of the village's happiness, and their performances were a highlight of every festival and celebration. Children and adults alike were captivated by their grace and exuberance, and the magic of the flute became a source of inspiration and wonder. Binzu never forgot the spirit of the forest and the lessons she had learned. She knew that the true magic of the flute was not just in its melodies but in the joy and harmony it brought to the world. And so, she continued to play, sharing the magic with everyone she met and ensuring that the legacy of the flute would live on for generations to come. The legacy. Years passed, and Binzu grew older, but her love for the flute and the magic it held never waned. She taught her children and grandchildren to play, passing on the wisdom and joy she had discovered. The village thrived, and the bond between the people and the forest remained strong. The magic of the flute became a treasured part of the village's heritage, a reminder of the power of music and the importance of harmony and joy. And every year, on the anniversary of Binzu's discovery of the flute, the village held a grand festival in her honor. Disclaimer: the material published on this channel is intended for the purpose of kids' entertainment and storytelling only. There is no advice and legal perspective on this channel that creates any responsibility on the creator.